Welcome, everyone. Let's talk about something I think we can all agree on. The older we get, the stranger the world seems to become. From the absurdly tiny font sizes on everything to the constant struggle to understand the newest technology, it's as if society is throwing us curveballs just to see if we can keep up. But there's something deeper and far more profound that comes with aging, something that goes beyond minor annoyances and outdated trends. And that's wisdom, a hard-earned wisdom that comes from years of experience, mistakes, lessons learned, and stories told. As we journey through life, reaching milestones like 70 and beyond, our perspective begins to shift. Things that once seemed important, that used to carry weight, suddenly don't matter as much. We start to recognize the real treasures in life and understand what it truly means to live meaningfully. And with that wisdom comes the freedom to let go of the opinions of others, of material possessions that don't bring joy, and of expectations that no longer align with our values. Aging isn't just about growing older. It's about shedding layers, breaking free, and choosing to live on our own terms. In this video, we're going to explore some of these insights and truths that come with age, the lessons, the surprises, and yes, even the quirks of growing older that have us all scratching our heads and sometimes laughing out loud. We're diving into 9 things that by the time you reach your 70s just stop making sense, or at the very least start to take on a whole new meaning. So, if you're ready, let's dive into a few of the powerful realizations that come with aging, things that truly make us reflect on what's worth holding on to and what's okay to leave behind. Whether you're here to learn, to relate, or simply to share a laugh about the wild journey of aging, you're in the right place. 1. Releasing the weight of others' opinions. As we navigate life, especially in our younger years, there's an almost magnetic pull to fit into the molds others have set for us. Society, family, friends, they all have ideas about how we should live, look, and act. From being the dependable friend or the successful professional to maintaining the perfect family image, many of us spend years seeking approval, often without even realizing it. We measure our decisions, big and small, against what others might think, fearing judgment or disapproval. But over time, the weight of these expectations can feel overwhelming, almost as if we're carrying around invisible burdens that don't even belong to us. Here's where the wisdom of age steps in. By the time we reach 70, there's a beautiful clarity that sets in. We start to understand that we're allowed to live for ourselves. The opinions of others, which once held so much power over us, start to lose their grip. We recognize that no one else's perspective can truly define our worth or dictate the kind of life we're meant to live. The only opinion that genuinely matters is our own. Imagine the freedom of not worrying about the silent judgments of others. Picture making decisions based solely on what feels right for you, without considering whether they align with anyone else's expectations. This shift in perspective is not just liberating, it's empowering. Letting go of the need for external validation allows us to reclaim our personal power. We stop being puppets pulled by the invisible strings of society's opinions and start living a life that reflects our true selves. So, if you've ever found yourself held back by what others might think, consider this. What if you made choices based solely on your own happiness and values? What if you gave yourself permission to live authentically, free from the pressure of outside expectations? The wisdom of age brings us this gift, the freedom to let go of the opinions of others, and in doing so, to truly embrace who we are. 2. Letting go of material possessions. One of the surprising truths that come with age is the realization that true happiness rarely comes from the things we own. Throughout our lives, we accumulate possessions, filling closets, garages, and shelves with items we may never even touch. At the time, acquiring these things can feel essential. A new car, an extra gadget, an expensive outfit. Each of these feels like a little victory, a reward, or even a security blanket. But, as the years pass, many of us come to recognize that these items don't truly add value to our lives. Instead, they often weigh us down. We start to feel crowded by the very things we thought we needed, and that's the moment of clarity. Happiness isn't tied to physical items. It's tied to the experiences, relationships, and moments that fill our hearts rather than our homes. By the time we reach 70, it's time to reevaluate. Do these things still serve us? Or are they simply clutter, both physically and mentally? Letting go of items we no longer need can feel refreshing, almost like a breath of fresh air that allows us to focus on what genuinely matters now. Think back to a time when you felt a surge of true joy. It was likely from a meaningful experience, like a moment with loved ones, an achievement that came from hard work, or a peaceful reflection. It's these moments that stay with us, not the stuff we collect. Decluttering allows us to create space for more of those moments, for new experiences and memories, and for the kind of joy that doesn't have to be stored in boxes. So, look around. What's something you could let go of today that might open up space for peace and clarity? Imagine the lightness that comes from living in a space that truly reflects who you are now, not the past or possessions, but the person you've grown into. Saying no to unnecessary social obligations. How often have you found yourself at a social gathering, nodding along in small talk, while secretly wishing you were at home, savoring a quiet evening? Throughout much of our lives, there's a sense of duty that keeps us saying yes to social invitations, even when we're not genuinely interested. It could be the family gatherings, the neighborhood events, or the endless friend reunions, all activities we attend simply because it feels expected. As we age, however, a powerful insight emerges. It's perfectly okay to prioritize our own comfort and joy over the need to fulfill every social obligation. By the time we're in our 70s, many of us realize that life is simply too short to spend in places that drain our energy, or in conversations that don't bring genuine fulfillment. It's a liberating feeling to learn that it's okay to say no to gatherings that don't align with our true desires. This doesn't mean we become isolated or avoid all social interactions. Instead, it means we become selective, focusing our time and energy on the people and events that nourish us rather than deplete us. Imagine the freedom of saying no without feeling guilty. The satisfaction of choosing only those connections and events that genuinely bring joy and meaning to your life. This choice lets us show up more fully and authentically in the relationships we do choose to invest in, making every social interaction richer and more meaningful. Have you ever said no to a social event and felt relieved rather than guilty? Think about how much lighter life feels when you only say yes to the things that truly bring joy. Prioritizing our well-being allows us to be fully present for the moments and people who genuinely matter. 4. Embracing authentic beauty. For much of our lives, society sends constant messages about beauty, what it looks like, how we should maintain it, and above all, why youthfulness is supposedly the gold standard. From magazines to TV and now social media, there's pressure everywhere to maintain a certain look, smooth skin, toned bodies, and the appearance of eternal youth. As the years go by, many of us feel a tug to hide the natural signs of aging, to cover up wrinkles or to color over grey hairs. But is that truly what beauty is? One of the gifts of aging is the opportunity to redefine beauty on our own terms. By the time we reach our 70s, many of us start to see beauty not in the flawless or wrinkle-free, but in authenticity, confidence, and the uniqueness that comes with age. Every wrinkle, every grey hair, each change in our appearance, they're markers of a life lived fully. These features don't need to be hidden. They tell the story of our journey, our wisdom, and the years of experience that we carry with us. Think about it. The people we often find most beautiful are those who radiate warmth, kindness, and self-assurance, qualities that shine far beyond physical appearance. True beauty has little to do with youth or flawless skin, and everything to do with the way someone makes others feel, the confidence they exude, and the wisdom that shines through. Imagine the freedom of embracing this authentic beauty, of allowing yourself to be exactly as you are, without the pressure to conform to society's narrow standards. Accepting yourself fully, without the need for external validation, is powerful. And by doing so, we inspire others to do the same, to let go of unrealistic expectations and find beauty in who they are. Have you ever felt liberated by embracing your natural self, just as you are? Let's celebrate the beauty of authenticity and the wisdom of age together. 5. Reevaluating activities that no longer bring joy. Life is full of routines, and while some bring us joy and fulfillment, others can start to feel like chores. Throughout our lives, we build habits, follow traditions, and commit to activities that once held meaning. But as the years go by, some of these routines lose their appeal, leaving us questioning why we continue to do them. One of the most freeing aspects of reaching our later years is the opportunity to reassess these routines. At 70 and beyond, we can choose to let go of the activities that no longer serve us, that don't add to our happiness, or that feel more like obligations than sources of joy. This doesn't mean abandoning everything from the past. It simply means making room for new experiences, new hobbies, and new passions that align with who we are today. Take a moment to reflect on your daily routine. Are there any activities that have become more habit than happiness? What if you let go of just one of those routines? Imagine the possibilities and the lightness that come from creating space for fresh, fulfilling experiences. This stage of life is the perfect time to try new things and explore new interests. Letting go of what no longer brings us joy doesn't mean turning away from the past. It means honoring it while making room for the future. Think about the things you genuinely love doing and focus on those. By letting go of outdated routines, we open the door to discover what truly brings us joy now. Have you reevaluated any of your daily habits lately? What's one activity you might let go of to make space for new joys? 6. Cutting ties with toxic relationships. As we journey through life, relationships play an incredibly important role. The people we connect with can uplift us, bring us joy, and create a sense of belonging. But as many of us know, not all relationships are positive or supportive. Some connections can become sources of stress, drain our energy, or even make us feel unappreciated or undervalued. By the time we reach our 70s, we gain the clarity and courage to take a good, honest look at the relationships in our lives. We start to recognize which people genuinely add value and positivity, and which ones leave us feeling depleted. It could be a friend who always brings negativity into conversations, a family member who is overly critical, or an acquaintance who doesn't respect our boundaries. Continuing to hold on to these toxic relationships isn't selfless. It's actually a disservice to our own well-being. Walking away from toxic relationships can feel challenging, but it's also an act of self-care. Prioritizing ourselves and our peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. We deserve to be surrounded by people who appreciate us for who we are, who bring light into our lives, and who encourage us to grow. Letting go of negative relationships creates room for more positive, meaningful connections to enter our lives. Have you ever had to step back from a toxic relationship? How did it impact your well-being? By making the choice to prioritize healthy, uplifting relationships, we improve our quality of life and set a positive example for others too. 7. Letting go of comparisons. Comparison is often called the thief of joy, and as we grow older, this truth becomes increasingly clear. Throughout our lives, there's a tendency to measure our achievements, happiness, and even self-worth against others. We might look at a friend's financial success, a neighbor's seemingly perfect family, or a sibling's accomplishments and wonder how we measure up. But as the years pass, we begin to see just how draining and unnecessary these comparisons can be. One of the gifts that come with age is the understanding that everyone's journey is unique. There's no single path to success or happiness, and trying to measure ourselves against others only leads to dissatisfaction. By the time we reach our 70s, we've gathered enough life experience to appreciate that true fulfillment isn't about matching someone else's milestones or achievements. It's about finding meaning in our own journey, in our own way. Imagine how freeing it would be to let go of the need to compare yourself to others. Think of the peace that comes from focusing on your own joys, accomplishments and values without the nagging urge to see if they measure up to someone else's. By embracing our own paths, we allow ourselves to celebrate our unique experiences and find contentment in who we are. Have you ever felt weighed down by comparisons? What changed when you stopped looking at others and started embracing your own journey? By letting go of comparisons, we give ourselves the freedom to live fully and authentically, enjoying the beauty of our own life story. 8. Redefining goals. What truly matters now? When we're younger, many of us set goals based on what society, family, or even our younger selves deemed important. We might focus on building a successful career, accumulating wealth, or achieving status. But as we age, particularly when we reach our 70s, our perspective shifts. The things that once felt essential might not carry the same meaning anymore. This stage of life gives us the unique opportunity to redefine success and fulfillment on our own terms. Instead of holding on to goals that no longer resonate, we can focus on what truly matters to us now, whether that's spending more time with loved ones, cultivating a passion, giving back to the community, or simply enjoying life with a sense of peace and purpose. Letting go of outdated ambitions doesn't mean giving up. It means we're evolving, refining our values, and aligning our goals with who we are today. Imagine the freedom of setting goals that feel authentic and meaningful, based on your own values rather than external expectations. Think of how fulfilling it would be to pour energy into what genuinely brings you joy and satisfaction, knowing that these new goals reflect your current priorities. Have you let go of any past goals or ambitions that no longer serve you? What new dreams or values have taken their place? By redefining what matters, we create space for a life filled with intention, purpose, and true happiness. 9. Prioritizing your own happiness without guilt. One of the most profound lessons that comes with age is the realization that prioritizing our own happiness isn't selfish, it's essential. Many of us spend years putting the needs of others before our own, whether it's for family, friends, or work obligations. While caring for others is meaningful, constantly setting our own needs aside can be exhausting and over time depletes us emotionally. As we reach our 70s, we gain the wisdom to understand that we can't pour from an empty cup. In order to be there for the people we care about, we first need to take care of ourselves. Prioritizing personal happiness becomes not just a choice, but a necessity. Imagine what life would feel like if you allowed yourself to do what truly brings you joy, whether it's taking up a new hobby, traveling, spending time in nature, or simply enjoying quiet moments of peace. This is the time to explore what fulfills you without the weight of guilt. Have you ever felt guilty for putting yourself first? What changed when you started prioritizing your happiness? Embracing your own joy not only enriches your life, but also allows you to show up as your best self for the people around you. By making happiness a priority, we find that we're better equipped to give to others and more present in our relationships. This stage of life is all about giving ourselves permission to enjoy the simple, meaningful pleasures that make life truly beautiful. As we journey through life, aging offers us a rare and beautiful gift, the chance to let go of what no longer serves us and to live with a newfound lightness and intention. Reaching our 70s or any later stage in life brings clarity about what truly matters. We start to understand that real joy comes not from fulfilling expectations, accumulating things, or trying to keep up with the world's standards, but from embracing authenticity, meaningful relationships, and personal peace. By letting go of others' opinions, material clutter, unnecessary social obligations, and toxic relationships, we open up space to live more joyfully and purposefully. We can choose relationships that lift us up, focus on experiences that fulfill us, and find beauty in the simplicity of everyday life. Each day becomes an opportunity to live in alignment with our values, celebrating the wisdom we've gained over the years. So, as you reflect on these realizations, consider this. Life's later years can be a time of liberation. By releasing the unnecessary, we make room for everything that brings us true happiness and contentment. Let's embrace the freedom to live lightly, to prioritize what brings us joy, and to enjoy the journey with open hearts and minds. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of wisdom, reflection, and the beauty of aging. If this message resonated with you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on how to live a life filled with joy and authenticity. Here's to embracing each stage of life with grace, humor, and a light heart.